we should definitely chat about another up-and-coming YouTuber, Vladimir Kramnik. He started his Title Tuesday career, been playing and streaming and speaking with the chat, engaging with the chat, and obviously accusing a lot of people of unruly things. What's our opinion on that? You actually just recently had a launched episode on a different podcast, and you said that you're generally playing 2 cheaters on average per Title Tuesday. I feel Vladimir probably thinks is way higher than that. What do we think of that? What's there to say? What's there more to say about what this crusade that Vladimir is engaged in? Maybe for a good cause.
Okay, so it's anyway, this is a cheating discussion. This is not a Kramnik discussion, right?
Yeah.
So because of course what Kramnik's actual Blitz games and his tournament, it's not particularly interesting with all due respect. I mean, he's a good player. He was one of the greatest of all time. Now he's just a good player, with all due respect, again.
Yeah.
And in terms of online chess, of course, he's not that impressive with the mouse, if we're being honest.
Right.
Put it mildly.
Right.
But
Mechanical
he is still a good player.
issues. Yes.
Yeah. So if we're talking about cheating in general, I don't think I'm going to draw too many conclusions from like the tournaments that Kramnik is playing. I haven't watched his game so much. I can tell you, and I've said this many times, that cheating is a serious problem.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can of course
I
get
mean,
into
we all
discussion.
played Title Tuesday during the camp, and I don't play this very often, just for the simple fact that I don't see myself having huge chances of winning a prize, and I have better things to do for the most part. But we did play, all of us, and I did feel that my first game was very, very, very suspicious. Okay, I played a few more games after that, and then decided to withdraw. But the first game was extremely, extremely suspicious. I was already, feeling like I'm joining the Kramnik camp, and I'm ready to make some public announcements. But
Well, what I've absolutely noticed among active chess players who I've spoken to, with an absolute 100% accuracy, every single one of them thinks cheating is a serious issue. I haven't spoken to a single one, and I can just like rattle off names, but I don't think it's necessary. I'm talking about the best players in the world. I'm also talking about grandmasters who are like 2650, grandmasters who are 2600, players who aren't so active, but still play every once in a while online. Everyone I've spoken to thinks that cheating is a serious issue, and the extent of the cheating issue varies. Now, I'm just explaining this for the people who aren't professional players. So people who are watching this, most people won't be in the chess scene as a player, right? They'll just be chess enthusiasts and so on. So I promise you, you might think Kramnik's paranoid, I'm paranoid, or whatever. And definitely many people rightly consider Kramnik's methodology, if you want to call it methodology, to be completely wrong, which I think is also correct. Like the numbers that he's looking at are not really relevant. So he's right in principle. But it's not just Kramnik. It's not just okay. Maxime had a podcast with Kramnik. I can tell you that Maxime also will publicly say that cheating is a big issue. And it's not just Maxime. It is other players, and it's not just Magnus, and it's not just concerns about certain players. It's actually very widespread concern about many players, and none of it is provable because we can't know for sure. And if I were to cheat tomorrow, you would never know for sure.
yeah.
And even the players who have been banned, very often they argue their case or they say they haven't cheated. And very often we don't even know who's been banned because it's never or almost never made public. It's never public information. The only case that was like made public really was the case that, I mean, okay, we obviously we know, right, what I'm talking about. So that's like one case out of uh, hundreds, right, of people who are actually caught and banned and then maybe argue their case or maybe they admit to it. And we're not talking about, let's say, a limit that stops at a certain rating like 2600. No, we're talking about above 2600. And it also doesn't stop at 2700. We're talking above 2700. And the question is, does it stop above 2750? And I'm actually not sure that it does stop above 2750. And it has nothing to do with elitism because I think that although cheating is more noticeable if you see a difference in results, like let's say if a 2400 suddenly starts playing like a 2700, that doesn't mean that a 27 plus 100 player who suddenly becomes a 2720 player, we don't actually know for sure if that it's just harder to detect. It's harder to notice because the skill level is higher at the start. But that doesn't mean that those players should be immune from suspicion. And there's many other things. I think the main thing is the difficulty in actually um, using any sort of like statistics to reach a conclusion. And the other problem is that how can you really protect against it? I mean, you have to, well, you can't catch someone red-handed. I mean, unless they're a complete idiot, right? They show
It
themselves
happened.
cheating on camera.
It happened. So,
Sure,
uh,
it could happen.
yeah, yeah.
But for the most part, people are not going to cheat in a way that you'll actually catch them red-handed online. So you have to decide based on what? That's actually for me the biggest question. For Kramnik, he decided that's based on chess.com accuracy scores. So I think that that's honestly bogus.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's not a good metric. Actually,
and
he
some
loses
people will say,
in a lot of people's eyes. He loses credibility because he uses that metric so dominantly, which is probably not a great metric.
and I don't think that it means anything. I can show you like some of my games and ask you if the chess.com accuracy meant anything in this game. But then the question is, okay, what do you use? We don't know what chess.com uses because obviously their algorithm or whatever is a secret.
Yeah.
And uh, so do we use results? Like if someone is playing badly over the board, but playing really well online, do we use that? Because if we use that, then some people like really do come to mind. Uh, do we use the amount of money that people have won? Because if we use that, then obviously top players are the ones who have won most of the money. But you can also see people who have won like $0 over the board, but who have won pretty substantial amounts, maybe 50,000 plus over the years in chess.com events. And people were like shocked by my like some players have won hundreds of thousands of dollars. Well, there's actually like many players who have.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not saying that like I've won hundreds of thousands of dollars on chess.com, but there's serious money involved. So if someone's cheating, and I really doubt that all the players who have won significant amounts of money have always done so fairly. I'm pretty sure that's not the case.
Yeah.
Of course, without proof. So I can't prove that this is the case, but nobody can. Uh, and the other question is like it's not my responsibility to ban or not ban someone,
Yeah.
but chess.com or Lee Chess or whatever has to decide what their um, percentage of certainty
Threshold,
is.
I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what their threshold is.
Threshold of banning people. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
No.
how sure do they have to be? Like Kramnik will tell you maybe it's 90%. For me, this seems kind of not certain enough, right? Because we might be getting into territory where, some players get banned without reason, but they're also very strong players and it's their living. And um, I think the difference with like, okay, so once we spoke to Vladimir and he mentioned the parallel between chess cheating as a crime and like real world crime. The difference is that when you have a real world crime, you need some sort of physical evidence usually, right? Like you're not deciding based on um,
Yeah.
numbers on a screen, like
Yeah.
how accurately someone played,
Yeah.
how well someone played in the game. It's like, okay, the person was in this location. They, you know, their fingerprints were there, or someone saw them, or Okay, now we're just talking about different things, right?
Beyond reasonable doubt. Yes, I guess. It's
Yeah,
the
or something like something tangible. Like when it comes to online chess, what are we? It's so difficult. I can't even imagine. I mean,
what is the
um,
reasonable doubt, I guess, in this instance.
well, I don't think you can base it off moves because like if I want to cheat, I can cheat by playing like shit
Hmm.
and win,
Hmm.
or I can play a really, really good game and not be cheating, like really accurate.
Yeah.
Um, I think the thing is that when you cheat, you can also the control the direction of the game.
Yeah.
So you can make the position such that it's super, super complicated so that mistakes are likely to happen. And then you can just like start making mistakes yourself and your opponent's making blunders and you're making blunders. And at some point you just capitalize on a blunder and you win.
Hmm.
Or you could just do it by like just playing yourself for the most part, but you play very, very quickly because you know that if you get in trouble, you can always bail yourself out. You can also decide that you only want to cheat, one game every two title Tuesdays. It will increase your results just a tiny bit,
Hmm.
but it will make a strong player a very strong player, and it will make a very strong player an elite player, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
You can also say that you'll only cheat um, in two games every title Tuesday, and you'll only consult the engine twice in those two games at random moments. It's going to increase your results somewhat. It is cheating, but how will you possibly be able to know?
Yeah.
And
You
I mean,
want.
there's just like a million ways
You want.
we
You
don't
won't
even
know.
understand how. So for me, the most important thing for people to understand is that chess players are just humans, and they're going to be tempted like anyone else. If if I leave my door to my house open and I leave on a vacation for a month, do I really expect that nobody is going to come and steal something?
Well, if nobody knows that your door is open, then probably nobody's going to try it. You have a high chance of nobody trying
Well,
it
I mean,
just for the simple
if I
fact that
leave
they
my
don't know.
door wide open
Oh, that's
and I
over.
just leave,
Yeah, that's over.
yeah.
You
No, I'm
go
just
out
saying
for
that
like an hour. Bye bye.
if we give opportunity to people, then in almost all cases, chess or non-chess, people will, some people, not all people are going to take advantage, but some people will be tempted and will take advantage for their own benefit.
Yes, yeah,
And it would be
especially when
very
it
naive
comes
to
to
assume,
financial benefit, especially when it
yeah,
comes to one's living ability to put food on table. You know, people do all sorts of things for that.
yeah, it would be very naive to assume um, that I host a chess tournament where cheating is both easy, very low risk in terms of being caught if you're smart,
Hmm.
and also financially rewarding, and that nobody will take advantage of it. And we have a tournament of, I don't know, 200 players, whatever it normally is. I don't actually know the numbers of how many people play Title Tuesday. Let me just check the last one. Just check.
Yeah,
Let's see. Okay, I'm already way past 200. Okay, way past 300. So now we're in 400s. Okay, 488 players.
let's say an average of 400 on the lower
Sure.
ends.
Most actually withdraw very quickly after they lose a few games.
Yep.
But yeah, let's say 400 players. And so what percentage do you think will cheat? I don't know. I mean, um, if we're not assuming that it's like really, really blatant, like 25% is really blatant. I mean, chess.com said 3%, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But we also, I would assume that they're going a bit low on that. And even if we settle at like 10%, that's still a pretty good chance that you're going to face a cheater at some point in those 11 games.
Yeah.
So, okay, I mean, you can call it paranoia or like last Tile Tuesday, I don't have strong suspicions I played a cheater. This was like 2 days ago,
Yeah.
but I do have like suspicions about one game, which I actually won, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
I was playing someone like who was absolutely just outplaying me so consistently and then just flagged,
Yeah.
but I don't know
No,
for sure.
it's
So So I don't think that it's like I'm not always thinking that people are cheating, but sometimes I have a really weird feeling. Like some people, they just crush me. Um, One player who hasn't played a single over the board game in 15 years just played first line to first move to last, the first line of the engine, and that player still plays.
Yeah,
So I don't know. Like to me, that's even that one game is just impossible. Like,
yeah.
okay, maybe Magnus does it,
That
but
doesn't happen. That simply doesn't happen. That actually
so
doesn't happen. Never happens, especially for somebody
it
that's
does
in that
sometimes
group.
happen, but usually not from players who don't even play chess anymore.
Yeah,
But okay, what can I say? I mean, if people want to think that it's all paranoia, of course they're free to think so.
it's a never-ending story, and I'm sure there is plenty of chapters to come in it. Fabi, it's been great catching up. I think it's time to call it a day. Yeah. You have some tournaments coming up, but I'm sure we'll chat about it in our next episodes. Guys, don't forget, if you're enjoying the content, if you're enjoying the episodes, the discussions, tell your friends, sub to the channel, turn on the post notifications. That's going to let you know whenever we post new episodes. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.